I'm getting the green light. So once again, good morning to Melang, Molweni, Absheni, Macheloni, and so on and so forth. So my name is Vuisilem Shutulu. I am from the Directorate of Arts, Culture and Heritage in the city of Johannesburg. This is once again a proud presentation and a proud production by the city of Johannesburg. Many people think that government can only produce food parcels, but we can also produce creative packages, you know. There was a time when Gauteng was known as the gangster's paradise, you know, leading from the song that we've just heard. But now Gauteng has become the creative paradise, where it is really a melting pot of different creatives coming together to come and express themselves in the way that they know best. So for this year's launch, we are here to launch the 29th edition. You know, it's almost as old as I am, this festival. I see it 2000. I think it's older than my 2000. So this is the 29th edition. Very proud presentation. Very rare that you have a program that is as consistent, as impactful, and even as sustainable as the Arts Alive International Arts Festival. So just to recognize a few people that are around here, obviously I can't call all of you by name, but some of you I will call you by either your title or your function. But I wish to start with acknowledging the Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Councillor Jolie D. Matongo, who unfortunately could not join us, but many of you know that he was able to join us last year, and he was the one who launched the first virtual festival for the city of Johannesburg. But I also wish to acknowledge him because he is the leader of council business. He is the one who makes sure that we continue to offer these kinds of services to the creative community of the city of Johannesburg, but also the country and the continent at large. So maybe just a round of applause for the executive mayor, who's also very new in the position. Last year he was acting, so a round of applause to him to welcome him also to that seat. I also wish to acknowledge the custodian of community development in the city of Johannesburg, a very passionate leader, always bright and colorful. I tried to live up to her brightness today, but I saw that I fell short again. So I wish to acknowledge the MMC for Community Development, Councillor Margaret Arnolds. A round of applause to her. I also just want to run through and acknowledge our host and a very important partner to us as a department that is offering this arts festival. The CEO of the Johannesburg Theatre, City Theatres, and not just the Johannesburg Theatre, but all of the city theatres fall under her umbrella, and she is the one who also works very closely with us to ensure that we deliver quality content, we deliver content that is responsive to the needs of the creative industries in the city of Johannesburg. I would also wish to acknowledge you as our host. Then probably, if not definitely, our most important partner, in ensuring that Arts Alive stays alive, and not just Arts Alive staying alive, but the arts stay alive. It's the artists, the creatives, the people who content themselves with ensuring that they bring healing to the nation, the people who, keep tabs on the movements of societies, and also ensure that they reflect back, where society is. They imagine a future for us. They look at our aspirations, they package them, and they present them to us, either to humor us or sometimes to reflect on our reality in the best way that they know how. And these are the artists, these are creative entrepreneurs, and these are the most important stakeholder to the Arts Alive International Festival. A round of applause to all of you. And lastly, I just wish to also take this opportunity, because normally we do it at the end, but I really think it is important to do it at the beginning to acknowledge the team that puts together this Arts Alive Festival, the people that conceptualize it, that run around to make sure that they package this program. And this year again, as you would know, we will be starting this festival from today, the 7th of September, and it's going to run until the 12th of December. So there's a whole range of activities. We are going to have a session later on where we will unpack these activities and talk about them in greater detail. But to start off our program officially, I just want us to request all of you just to stand up so that we can observe a moment of silence for all the people that have been ravished by this pandemic, people who have succumbed to it, people who have survived it, and people who still have anxieties about whether or not they are going to be infected and whether they will survive, just to give them strength, just to draw from the cosmic energies and to even draw from whoever we pray to, so that we can give them strength and also remember those who are no longer with us. A moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. I want to start off the program today. I'm not going to say a lot, but there is something I was reading, and I came across a quote, and I get nervous quoting this author because I see somebody who's very passionate about that author in the audience, and I'm not going to even look in his or her direction because I know how much they are immersed into this author. This is a quote by Ben Okri, who's one of the most formidable authors to come from this continent. A Nigerian author, very passionate, a wordsmith in the true sense. And to start off today's program, I just want to quote one of his writings when he says, "The most authentic thing about us is our capacity to create, to overcome, to endure, to transform, to love, and to be greater than our suffering." And that's Ben Okri, and I think it's a very good note to start today's program. Thank you very much for coming. We welcome you to this occasion, and to kick off our program, we are going to play a pre-recorded speech by the Executive Director of Community Development, Mr. Vincent Campbell, who is going to give us a few remarks and also introduce the MMC for Community Development, who's going to give us the keynote address today in her capacity as MMC, but also on behalf of the Executive Mayor. And as we get ready, a round of applause for the live streaming of the message from our Executive Director. Thank you very much.
Good morning, colleagues. Program Director, Mr. Vuyisile Mshudulu. Also Director for Arts, Culture and Heritage in the city of Johannesburg. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Vincent Campbell. I'm the Executive Director responsible for community development in the city of Johannesburg. My task today is to do the welcoming. It's a very simple task, but a very important task. But before I get into that particular space, please allow me to acknowledge the presence of our principals here this morning. Please allow me to start off and welcome the Executive Mayor in absentia. He's unable to join us physically today, but he is able to join us online. Welcome, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for your continued support from a ComDev perspective. Likewise, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the member of the mayoral committee responsible for community development, Councillor Margaret Arnold, MMC. You are welcome, and once again, our stalwart. You are also the steward and the custodian of this particular process, so welcome to this particular launch. I also want to acknowledge the presence of other MMCs. I want to acknowledge the presence of councillors, Section 79 committee members. I also want to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Kolisa Gama, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Joburg City Theatres, who's hosting us today. You are welcome, Madam. I also want to welcome and acknowledge the other spheres of government and officials from the city, and also our artists. And last but not least, I would want to welcome the media houses present here today. I greet you all in the name of the arts. We are absolutely delighted to launch the 29th edition of the International Joburg Arts Alive Festival. We are delighted to be part of this particular process, and we can't wait for this particular program to kick off. I must just, however, remind ourselves, colleagues, that we are, our entire lived experience is still overshadowed by COVID-19, and as a result, we have a very limited launch in terms of how we normally do it. I think we all know and understand that this particular pandemic ravaged lives and livelihoods, generally speaking, but I think it has affected the sports and the arts and culture fraternity severely. And that is an important context, colleagues, because, you know, as municipalities, we have a myriad of challenges flowing from reduced revenue generation capacity to a myriad of competing challenges. But the city still found it opportune to support this particular program, because it is understood by leadership the importance of this particular sector. And in this particular instance, colleagues, I would like to just acknowledge our Executive Mayor Councillor Jolidi Matongo and our MMC for their continued support in this particular space. I think there's a very, very clear understanding of the acute importance of this particular sector. I also want to just say to yourselves that without the support of the leadership, we will not be able to host these particular programs. I think we should be able to give them a round of applause at this particular point in time. Program Director, I'm not going to dwell too much on the content of the program. We have issued a substantive press release detailing all the programs that we have over the next few months. It is very, very exciting, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun over the next few weeks and months. I think further to that, we're also going to have a very exciting day today with our program. Leading the charge will be our Executive Mayor and our MMC. We will also have some good entertainment along the way, and we will also be having what I deem to be a quite interesting panel discussion later on, and that will culminate into us finalizing the program at around 12 o'clock. So I think it's going to be a fun day. I think we're going to have a lot of positive interaction and discussions, and I would like you to stay with us for the entire duration of the day. So with those few words, Chair, I would like to welcome all of you to this particular launch. I think my next task would be to just introduce to yourselves the member of the Mayoral Committee for Community Development, Councillor Margaret Arnold, a consummate, experienced politician, a developmentalist, an activist, and a person that just loves doing community development work. I think I always call her Miss Busybody. She's all over, and I think all of us are, at one point or the other, have met with MMC Arnolds. She needs no introduction, so I'm going to stop there and just call her. MMC, please come up and give us your input. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. To Melang, Sanbonani, Goeiemorgen, and all the others. I won't say etc., etc. Program Director, Voisile Mashudu, you must come and get more tips how to be bright. I'll give it to you. It's spring, okay? To our host, CEO of Johannesburg Theatres, Ms. Xoliswa Ngema, I can't pronounce the first one. All other MMCs present, whether you're online or whether you're physically here. Councillors present, senior members of all spheres of government present, leaders and practitioners in the creative industries. Ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all with humility and the respect that you deserve. I'm going to be doing the speech of the mayor in absentia. I'm not Jolly D, I am Margaret Arnolds. I'm not the mayor of the city, I am the MMC for community development. So media capture it nicely. The Arts Alive International Arts Festival is hosted under the theme, A Redefining an Artistic Creative Future. And Margaret Arnolds can proudly say that the Arts Alive is older than her. She's only 16 years old. After the mayor assumed the seat of executive mayor, one of the things he has resolved to do is to define the experiences of the residents of the city. We need to change the course and the development trajectory for both the city and her residents. And note, the city is a woman. To achieve this is to harness the potential that exists in propelling the socio-economic capital of the city and her people. The arts has an important catalytic role to play in shaping the future of the city. And we all know what the artist has gone through since COVID started. I think if there are people that has been touched in a bad way, it is the artists. We must endeavor to realize a redefining an artistic future through active investments in the arts, cultivating talent, facilitating the access of local artists to various local and global markets. It's not only in the local market, but also nationally and internationally. And taking pride in rebuilding this beautiful city into a cultural destination of choice. People must be wanting to come to the city of Johannesburg and not say, I'm going there because I have to. But they must have the need to come to the city. We must create conducive conditions for people from all parts of the world to desire to work, learn, and play in our city. The Arts Alive International Festival is well poised to reposition the city for cultural tourism, promotion of cultural diplomacy, and activating local economy. You know that I think if there were really people that became poor during this time, it was the artists. It was the artists that we go out to go and see the shows, but we couldn't. But these very same artists kept us captured to our TVs, to our videos, to our phones, to our radios while we were in isolation. It was these artists that kept us going when we thought we were going to die of COVID-19. I know that when I was in isolation, it was my TV, it was my radio, and I still have one of those old DVDs where I could play my cassettes in and watch them. We have modified our program offering to cater for both virtual and physical audience in line with the current regulations on COVID-19. Today we are gathered under a celebratory tone to mark the launch of the 29th edition of the Arts Alive International Festival. It is through the Arts Alive International arts festival that we activate Heritage Month, thus some of us are as bright as we are. And I remember standing here last year and said, if you know who you are, be proud of who you are. Be proud of your culture and wear your culture. Wear it not only in your head, but all over for people to understand and know who you are. A very good conversation happened this morning, Vuisile, when people were asking me, MMC, why do you dress cultural always? Why do you dress in all the different cultures? But that's just who I am. I'm an African woman, and I'm proud to be one. The arts festival that we activate during Heritage Month, having noted the plight of the artists, we are extending our program until December to ensure that we can cater for as many artists as possible and bring some relief to them. This will also bring a diverse lineup of activities for our audience, both locally and globally. The mayor has sought to prioritize service delivery in the city. And wow, I hope he's not watching. He's a slave driver. Service delivery has really started. We are out there on a daily business, a daily basis, and it's not only cosmetic. No, ons werk, we are working, we are sebenza. So that we make our city more responsive to the needs of the residents. In this regard, it should not be any different with respect to our arts and development services. The role of Johannesburg City Theatres is also very strategic in this respect. Just last week, or was it Saturday, we also had the first food and music festival that we are having right here in the theater, and that is also to look at how we can assist our artists. To also extend our service to the arts community, we will be supporting initiatives across several artistic disciplines, ranging from visual arts, dance, music, film, amongst others. We also have exciting collaborations with sector-based initiatives that are geared towards grassroots development for local artists. And I know the young ones want to hear this, but also the older ones, nah? Yeah, I think jazz is more towards those that are much older than me. Our flagship programs, Jazz on the Lake, has been modified to a virtual program titled Jazz at Arts Alive. So it's not gone. We're not going to go to the lake. You'll have the lake in your yard or in your lounge or wherever you want to be. You can have the lake there. So change it into a lake. Our audience will enjoy the eclectic sounds of artists such as Mandisa Jankis, Zau Madiga, Pops Muhammad, Temba Mukwena, and many more. The program will be streamed to a virtual audience. Do you want to know the date? The 19th of September, very soon, around the corner. We are confident that as we work together towards achieving herd immunity for COVID-19 in the city and the country, please, if you haven't gotten your vaccine, please go. Please get it, because the numbers are dropping, because a lot of people has gotten the vaccine in the city of Johannesburg. Don't be scared. You'll just feel a bit funny for a day or so, but it's good. And you can choose Pfizer or Johnson & Johnson. There will be greater scope to open up our theaters and other arts. You want to go to the theater, you want to be at the jazz, so go and get your vaccine so that we can all be out there in the lake or at the lake. To open up our theaters and other arts venues to accommodate more audience. Right now we are just a few, but we could be much more. This will extend much more opportunities to the local artists, and they will also have their jobs back. We therefore appeal to artists to spread the message of adherence to COVID-19 protocols. Yesterday I was in Imfuleni some people didn't wear their masks, and I went to the extreme. I said to them, guys, I have just recovered from COVID. I got out of bed on Saturday. So if you're not wearing a mask, I might give it to you. And people ran away physically to go and get their masks. So whichever way we have to, we need to know that wear your mask, social distance, and sanitize. I would like to know, if I ask now, where's your sanitizers? How many of us will take it out? But I don't want to be like the pastor in church that says, who has their Bibles? We therefore appeal to artists to spread the message of adherence for COVID-19 protocols. We must be motivated by those who have succumbed to this pandemic to take the necessary precautions. You know, we've lost our mayor to COVID, and it was someone, he was someone that really, really did all and was in line with all the protocols. So imagine if someone like him could have died of it. What about us that don't really do it? The mayor is also truly grateful to the frontline workers, and so is all of us who work tirelessly to save lives in our city. We lastly wish to thank the artists through whom these programs have become a resounding success in the last 29 years. To acknowledge the media for always showing up to capture the historic moments through Arts Alive, and to thank the team from the city that works with dedication to deliver a high-quality production. Ladies and gentlemen, manne and vrouwens, I now declare the 2021 Arts Alive International Arts Festival officially opened. I thank you.
MMC, for a really inspiring speech. And the themes that you touched on are very important for the sector that we operate in. As somebody who has been in the creative industries for so long, I'm really inspired by some of the things that you touched on, because arts is not just about commercial activity, but it's also social, it is spiritual, it's got many facets that are layered into it. And it is time that we as the artists also begin to understand our role in society. But in order for us to understand our role in society, we first have to understand ourselves. And thank you very much for those inspiring words, MMC. Another round of applause for MMC. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to go into a different segment of the program. Now that the Arts Alive is officially launched, we will then, I think there's no better moment to have a performance, and we are going to get, in my view, one of the best, bass guitarists in the country, Austebza, to come and just marinate and serenade us with her music. Let's welcome Austebza with a round of applause whilst the DJ is playing some house music. Thank you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, la la yeah. palais, ki palais, ki palais, ya morata. Kile, ibile ki palais tui, pilo yaka inwali maikutlo. Balikile, humbule la, bari musadi, kakombela. Hey, tilayewu, inalimi bidwa, iyakaba, iudisa wuduku, yonayo, kili ke palais, kia murata, yelelele, hey, yelelele, hey, yelelele, kia murata, hey, yelelele, la la la, la 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 la, kia murata, yelelele, hey, yelelele, hey, yelelele.
Thank you for that round of applause for our Stebza. Many of you just know her as a bassist, a bass guitarist, but you've never heard her sing, you know. So I also was shocked when I saw her the first time singing, because I always saw her playing for Double HP, the legend, may his soul rest in peace. So we are going now to go into talking about the many other programs that will be taking place during the Arts Alive International Arts Festival between now and December. I know many of you are curious as to what will be happening, and we have, because this year we've got so many activities happening, so we've divided the panel into two. We will have two panels. I just want to verify first, before we take our next performance, if the first panelists are here. I see one of them, Ntate Fairchild Piri. I see you there. And then Ntate Mpomolepo from the Alexander Arts Academy. Alex. Yeah, Alexander Arts Academy. Brapita Sibeko, I saw from C Major, yes. From the C Expo. And then we've got Sisnomtandazo Solomon. Are you here? Yes. And then Ntate Ernest Tema, I saw him earlier on. Yeah, this side. Okay, from the Beatmakers Market. So the performance that you saw earlier on, that was the winner for the 2020 Beatmakers Market competition. These are some of the talents that we are cultivating through that space. And then last but not least, in the first panel, we have Sisimbali. I saw her, Sisimbali Khatebe, Kamaku Pungani. So we are going to ask all of you after the next performance to ascend the stage. They will prepare the stage for you to have a sit down, and then we'll have a discussion about some of the activities that you have planned for Arts Alive. The next performance we'll take is from Sisia Makuzeni. A round of applause.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Now for our first panel, Ndate Fairchild Piri from the Global Dance Supreme. Round of applause. Ndate Mpomolepo, Alex Arts Academy. Brapita Sbeko, C Major Productions, giving us the C Expo. Sisnom Tandazo Solomon. Yabanda le applause yen. It's very chilled. Ndate Enestema from the Beatmakers Market. Sisimbali Khatebe from Soweto Arts and Craft. I'm tempted not to start with you, Fairchild, but I know that this year you are going to adhere to the time. So if you can just tell us about the, in 2.5 minutes, tell us about the Global Dance Supreme, what we can expect this year, so that it's captured nicely in the media. So over to you, Ndate.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Director. I'll be 2 minutes, 30 seconds today. Sure. We're very excited to be here. Arts Alive, I mean, this is our 4th year, and you know, what a better time to be alive. Well, obviously, I'd like to thank the MMC. You know, obviously, we had the MMC speaking in terms of COVID, the impact COVID had in the past. This is our 2nd year going. But we'll obviously, due to the time, you know, we'll rush to the program, which Global Dance Supreme is going to be hosting this year. You know, when times change, obviously we need to change with the times. And, you know, if I look at in terms of the impact or who suffered the most, I think the MMC mentioned this similar, you know, voices in terms of that the arts industry, the creative space, obviously, as you can see, I mean, we don't have no chairs, there's nobody sitting, and that's obviously we feed on that, you know. That's just how art is. You feed on the audience, you feed on people. It's a people's business. It's that kind of, that's how it works. However, this is where we're at, and you know, we have to, we now adjusted to online activities, and we're excited as well that we are still moving forward regardless of the problems. So please diarize in terms of what Global Dance will be doing this year, 29th to the 31st of October. We are hosting the online, we are in the youth development space in terms of dance, in that creative space. You know, we've been in different activities and various development programs in the last 15 years. The talent in this country is amazing. It's unfortunate that, you know, as they say, out of sight, obviously, we can't see them. So we can't see the talent, the amount of talent South Africa has. You know, it's time to export the talent South Africa really have. It is all great. I mean, when we host our competitions, our dance championships, dance events, we have a lot of international participations. 2020, we had 11 countries participating. This year, we're closing, give and take, close to 15 countries participating. But the level of the local talent has been another level. But at the same time, you know, the online has its own advantages, because now we have then, there's more, we have grown in terms of footprint. The countries where, or, you know, talent which we might have not seen, taking part, competing against the local market, now we're able to see it via the online platforms. Our events are running from the 29th of October. Please make sure you have that down. We'd like to see, you know, when you come 2022, to remember, yeah, Global Dance, we remember you guys. We are streaming live on Facebook, on TikTok, and YouTube, and Instagram, all those multiple platforms. Our banners right there, Global Dance Supreme. So all our tags, all our platforms are there. Unfortunately, I do have business cards for whoever, you know, who wants. So at least you can kind of remember where to view the event. It's 3 hours per day in terms of how the event timeline, you know, obviously you can't host the event a whole day, especially online. So 2.5 to 3 hours on each of the 30th and the 31st. The 29th of October is very much, it's like an activation for the main event. So I was given 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Wow, it's an achievement. You did well. Ntate Molepo.
Dumelang. Ke le dumedisa botlhe ba ba leng fa. Ke tla zama gore ke bue in 2 minutes. Alex Arts Academy for this year is focusing mainly on young people. We are an institution of learning. We are now 4 years old. And we also want to thank the city for believing in us when no one believed in us. I keep saying to people that our story about the Alex Academy is not a story of trying to take children away from the streets, but it's a story about success, of me growing up in the township, in the same hall that I grew up trying to do theater, is the same hall that I'm working in now, 20 years later. With about 150 young people every Saturday, divided into 5 classes. And we have a full-time company now of about 21 young people that we work with them full-time. So, and we believe strongly that out of the 150, if we could save 2 or 2 that can remain in the arts, we would have won the fight. Because amongst the 15 people that I grew up with in that same hall, only 4 of us remained in the arts. So we really appreciate the support that you are giving to us. But our focus this year is we we want to hear what young people are thinking and what young people are saying about the present time. So we're running 2 festivals. The first one is on the 24th on Heritage Day, and it's a poetry festival, and we're doing it for the first time. And as we speak, we already have 21 poets that are coming from the 7 regions of the city and also from the 5 regions of the province. So we have Ekurhuleni, we have West Rand, and something very exciting is that most of the people that we have here are actually well-known spoken word artists from the various township. Mpo Poetry, Case Rame, Tsegofatso Monama, from Tshwane, Refile Peters, Alex. It's a whole list, Kellogg Sompisi. So all these young people that never get an opportunity to be in one room and to share their views about the present state of affairs, we're trying to create that kind of a platform. I think one of the other things that is really driving us, mainly as Alex Arts Academy, is that we feel strongly that the art has really become too silent. There isn't a voice of an artist that we're hearing echoing on the situation that we are faced with. And as a result, we want to hear what young people are feeling about the present so that we can reawaken the voice of the artist, so that the artist can start talking and reflecting on the present society. I think we have become very, very silent. And on the 16th and the 17th of October, we will be hosting a theater festival where also we'll be inviting groups from the 7 regions and also from the other regions of the province. So you are welcome to Alex. On the 24th, we'll host the festival on amphitheater, so it will be in an open space. So at least we'll be able to accommodate more people. We're not going virtual, we're going physical. So be there in Alex. Thank you.
Dumelang Apshin Sanbonan, a very good morning. My name is Peter Sibeko. So I represent a company, C Major Productions, that is responsible for Showbiz Entertainment Africa, which is a conference and an exhibition which has been going on for about 6 years now. We're very grateful and appreciate the platform. Grateful to the city for the support and giving us the opportunity to be able to do what we do, which is largely really to nurture and empower creatives and people that are entrepreneurial in the space from a business development side of things. So that's been our focus since the inception of the program, and it's not any different this year, but we obviously reading the room, much like a lot of people that harping on the impact and the effect of COVID to the industries. We're responding accordingly from a development side of things, which is to host workshops as well as a conference and exhibitions, but the exhibitions will be online. So we're putting together a hybrid experience. So the workshop, which will be a full day workshop, is going to be practical solutions on digital audience development, and that's the theme. So the theme this year is on digital audience development, and because we feel that without an audience, which is what we think the industry at large is grappling with at the moment, which is going to market in this highly digital, demanding environment. And that's what the different activities, which is the workshop, the conference sessions, as well as the exhibitions, are going to be focusing on. So we will have local speakers, including international speakers, that will be speaking to the various topics that are on hand this year in the conference section, including the workshop that I mentioned. And the exhibition is going to be taking place over the 2 days, which is the 27th and the 28th of November at the baseline. So we are Showbiz Entertainment Africa. In short, it's C Africa. Online, on the socials, it's at C Africa. It's SE Africa. It's only on Twitter where it would be at C_Africa. SEA_Africa. And I'll be around for any other questions in that regard.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nomthandazo Solomon. I am an educator. I am a teacher. I groom young people around Soweto and in other places. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the city for giving us this opportunity to be able to uplift the young people, especially young women, because as the situation is currently, women are in a very critical situation where gender-based violence and unemployment, teenage pregnancy is rife. So currently the subject that we're going to address is making young women believe in themselves, understand themselves, free themselves from dependency, and making sure that they know who they are. The show that we're going to do is going to take place in Soweto, and we are going to have a 2-day show where we'll have conversations with young women who will be able to speak about what they believe in, what they want to do in life, and have role models that they can look up to, so that they can be able to see their, in fact, to look forward to what they want to be in the future. And then we're also going to have a second day, which is a celebration where we work together with our young men, where we work together and combine and balance, make sure that we balance the situation and work as a unit. So if we work as a unit, it will remove that stigma of working as individual. When I look at it as an example, I look at it as an example of a choir setup where you get 4 parts in a choir and each and every individual work as a unit instead of working as one. So maybe if we can work as a unit between male and females, then we can achieve a lot. And it can also address the issues that we have, the critical issues that we have in the country. So that is basically what we're going to do, and make sure that these young women are uplifted, since we know that in this industry, it is mainly male-dominated. So that's what we're going to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tobela. Legai, Rona, Nagalina ke Ernest Wagatema. I'm here on behalf of Beatmakers Market, where music and technology meet. Thank you to the city for partnering with us as they redefine a creative and artistic future. So on Sunday, the 26th of September at 1 p.m., Beatmakers Market will be presenting a live stream presentation like no other, which features live beat making, beat auctions, live product demonstrations. We'll be honoring our Icon Award. Hopefully the MMC can make it again this year. And of course, our Beat Maker of the Year beat battles. And music producers will be showcasing their beats live on stage and via live stream to numerous independent artists, record companies, A&R, movie supervisors. If you're basically looking for new music or new beats, make sure you tune into our live stream Beatmakers Market on the 26th of September. And this year, we've introduced the Beatmakers Market Orchestra. We've put together a 9-piece brass band. We're definitely excited about that one. Can't wait. And then, of course, we usually have a masterclass every year. And this year, we've decided to invite a pioneer from the Amapiano movement. We all know Amapiano is taking over South Africa, y'all. Actually, they've taken over the continent, and I think they are this close to taking over the globe, because this past weekend, there was an Amapiano festival in the UK, guys. A sound that was started by young black people in the townships hosting a festival in London. So this year, Beatmakers Market will be having an Amapiano masterclass. And then, of course, Beatmakers Market, thank you. Beatmakers Market, the grand finale, we always have the Beatmaker of the Year beat battles. So since January, every month we host a sample challenge, and we're down to our 8 finalists who will be competing for the crown as the Beatmaker of the Year 2021. The champion walks away with 5,000 Rand cash, a Bhutan wear clothing hamper, and studio equipment worth 50,000 Rand, sponsored by Arts Alive, of course, M Audio, Turnkey Music, Serato Studio, Fruity Loops, Reason. This is the biggest beat battle in Africa. I was almost tempted to say in the world, but I will not say it on record, but I think we are this close, to being the biggest beat battle in the world. And yeah, man, and of course, after the beat battle, after the Beatmakers Market, we usually host a workshop. We identify a school in all the regions, and this year we've identified Region E. So we'll be doing a beat making workshop for grade 6s at Ituteng Primary in Alexander. So we can't wait. The grade 6s are excited. I went there last week to visit them. And basically the difference with this year is we don't just want to go to the school, do the workshop, and leave them. We want to basically assign like sort of lecturers who can check up on the kids now and then. And hopefully next year, this time, they will be actually graduating because they'll be in grade 7. They can get a certificate that, they graduated from the Beatmakers Market program. And who knows, they might be on this stage one day. So yeah, for more updates, follow us on our social media, Beatmakers Market. The hashtag for the year is hashtag Beatmakers Market, hashtag BMM21. And in closing, thank you to the city. Like they always say, a great sign of a great city is the arts and culture. And this is arts and culture right here on stage. So thank you to the city for keeping the arts alive. Thank you.
Sanbonani, igama lami uMbali Mnyama wakaGadebe, and I am representing Soweto Art and Craft Development, which is a creative hub of over 100 local businesses, and it has been established for over 9 years now. We are based at Soweto Theatre, and our main focal point and aim actually is to build manufacturing hubs for all these businesses, and yeah, we are on that journey. I'd like to thank Joburg Arts Alive for bringing us on board again for 2021. We've had a very great relationship with them overall, and it's great to see that the work that we are doing is being noticed by the city, and we value the relationship that we have with Joburg Arts Alive and the city at large as well. Our program starts from the 22nd of September until the 26th of September. It will be Soweto Art Week. And Soweto Art Week is a platform for visual artists, and this is where they come and expose their artwork, because visual artists actually don't get the platform that most artists get, and we always find ourselves having to create so many platforms that people don't actually get to see or experience. So even the pandemic has done such a great effect within just, having exhibitions and not being able to open up galleries and open spaces for events. So this year's theme for Soweto Art Week is My Body is Art. We are re-educating humanity about what it means to be a black woman and what it means to put pride on what a woman's body is, as opposed to what has been happening to us recently. So we'll be using art to activate and to just, speak against women abuse and the gender-based violence that is happening right now for young women and women in all ages, actually. And then on the 13th of October, we have a fashion design tutorial. With the pandemic, we realized that we can give the more artists, more platforms online. So if they can actually teach and show people what they are actually putting into their brands, how they are creating the brands, and also educating young kids that you can actually use your hands and your mind to create a very wealthy life for yourself. You can sustain yourself by just individualizing what it is to be a creative within this whole industry. So that platform will just be given to 2 brands, Zookeeper and Afro Sheep, brands that we have worked with for over 5 years. They have shops, and we just want to give them more exposure so that people know who their brands are and where they can actually find them and what goes into building a black business in these times through COVID. And on the next list, we have Lunch with a Purpose, which is on the 31st of October. Lunch with a Purpose is just giving homage to black women in general on what they do in the creative industry. We feel like we're not given our flowers while we are still alive as women, and we are not appreciated for the hard work that also goes into what we actually put on the platform or the programs that we bring abroad. So this is just going to be a platform that we are giving to black women to come have lunch, spoil themselves. It will be according to the COVID regulations. We hope that we do open up so that we can have a huge number of people coming through and just giving, homage to women and just saying that we appreciate you and you are loved. We want to take care of you and the world is actually looking out for you. That will be done with a chef, Chef Mahlomola, who is world-renowned, and he'll be actually cooking the whole meal, and it will be a 3-course meal with, beautiful music and entertainment happening as well. On the 13th of November, we have Josie Girls Can Sing, which will be 5 girls that will be selecting, doing great work at the moment, just giving them the platform. It will be streamed as well as the physical will be open. It will be based at Soweto Theatre. We're hoping that we just give them more platform to what the pandemic has taken away from them, and their careers can continue to shine and become what they prosper to be as well, And then 7 Color Sundays, the Arts Alive edition is going to be on the 28th of November. And this is just us also just honoring Arts Alive and the initiative that they have taken in supporting us for so many years. So we want to give back to Arts Alive by just showing the rest of the arts industry that they are actually doing a good work by supporting us and always making sure that Arts Alive happens for many years. Actually, I'm way younger than the 29 years that it's been alive for. So I appreciate that I'm also becoming part of the history. And then we close off with I Love Soweto Festival, which will be in December. And this is us just showing homage to Soweto and saying this has been a township that has carried so many black lives and so many, well, now we've got white lives as well, but it carries so many lives. And we just want to give, homage to this township that has given even umuntu ofana no Mamwini Madigizela a platform to give kids a extra platform of just fighting for what it is that they want to do. Just to mention Umama Madigizela, we are hoping now that the MMC is also around and the mayor might be listening, that we have a Madigizela Day on the 26th. I don't know how many times I've been saying this. I hope this is my last year saying it. If we can have a Mandela Day, let's have a Madigizela Day because she deserves all the honor that we need to be giving back to her. So thank you.
Thank you. Just to introduce Bramandla Sbeko from the FNB at Joburg. It's one of the platforms that we're also collaborating with for Arts Alive. He's got a pressing engagement. The media is already hounding him for interviews. So the time is all yours now.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good afternoon to everyone. It's wonderful to be here. Geez, the time has gone. The last time I was on any panel was like 18 months ago. So it's wonderful to be here. It feels a bit weird. But I just want to thank the city for their commitment again. Unfortunately, last year, we couldn't have a fair. We couldn't have a fair at the convention center due to COVID. This year, again, we won't be having one at the convention center due to COVID numbers in South Africa. I think we're not there yet. We did come with solutions. You know, last year we were nervous, didn't know how to tackle COVID, and we went online virtually. So people were able to still see exhibitions and see the work of artists online, and buyers could buy, you know. We decided to take it a step further this year and really harness the energy of Joburg, very diverse city. I don't have to tell you that because we all live here and we know what Joburg is made out of. So we are putting together a series of activations in October. So we've moved the dates from September, unfortunately. Due to planning, we had to move to October. September is normally our month. We'll go back to September when we have the physical fair next year. But for this year, we're launching a completely new concept as part of our Joburg called Open City. So we promoting Joburg as a very open city, that it's one of the most open cities you can ever find in the world. And so every programming that we've put together for that weekend is orientated around that. All of us have had to find ways to navigate through COVID, and we must find ways of starting to open up. So we will have a number of activations focusing in Rosebank. We've decided to invest quite a lot of our effort in that district because we believe that given the COVID numbers, it's quite friendly, COVID friendly to an extent, that people can walk around the district and enjoy exhibitions. So there are curated exhibitions that will be put up between Rosebank and Parktown North, working also with the Gautrain this year. So it's been really fantastic that people have really looked for more value than in the past. So the Gautrain will offer a route that will go between Rosebank, Parktown North, and other districts that we what we call nodes. So we're going to have different 9 nodes of interesting things, lots of surprises for everyone. When it goes, we'll be announcing tomorrow, and then the nodes, what will be happening in each one of the nodes will be announced in the next 2 weeks. So people will be able to go onto our website, find all the details, look at the map itself, what are the different nodes that we've put together for the citizens of the city to be able to navigate for that 4 days. It will all close up on the Sunday. We've also collaborated with restaurants and bars in the city because a lot of them have, most of them have also been hit just as hard as we have been hit in the arts. So this is the first time we really will be collaborating with them. They'll be taking on some sort of a signature stamp that says that they're part of this community of Open City. So this is hopefully the start of a cultural initiative that we've always wanted to do, which in other cities around the world, it's called Gallery Weekend. We thought that for our city, we don't have to do exactly that. We need to embrace other genres of arts. So we hope that everyone else here will come and work with us as we start to promote this, because it is really a journey to sort of opening up the economy, opening up the cultural landscape for next year. But at the same time, we will also be going virtual. So there will be an online fair, again, for that customer base that's looking at buying art. And then there's quite a lot of stuff that people will be able to view across the 9 nodes. And all of it is free. So everyone for this year doesn't have to purchase any ticket. There are obviously limitations when you get to the different venues. The galleries in Joburg will also be leading with an exciting programming that weekend. So people can jump onto buses and then go to the galleries and they'll be welcomed. There'll be exciting programming that is put together specifically for that weekend. And just before the opening up of Open City itself, we'll start with a symposium, just focusing on dialogue. We hope that this will continue from this year into next year. Yeah, we look forward to seeing you, and all the details will come out tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Bramandla. You know, Stages, which is the restaurant downstairs, on Saturday launched a food and music program, and I think it would be great to plug them in. So the idea is to have on Saturdays, you know, live performances, great food, and just creating a lifestyle experience. And I think for the Open Joburg program, they might just be a good addition. I know they are not in Rosebank, but I'm advocating for Stages. So thank you very much. We will take one or two questions, but there is more information available on atalife.joburg, on our website and all our other platforms, on all the initiatives that have been mentioned here. So if there are any one or two pressing questions, we'll take them now. Otherwise, we welcome our next panel. Thank you very much. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you for being so clear and for also the creativity with which you have packaged your different initiatives. Thank you very much. We will shortly we'll take a song. Let's just take a group picture. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just take a group picture. So we'll take a song and then we'll take the next panel from there. Thank you.
Greetings, everybody. Pops Mohammed here. It's such a great honor for me to be here today and to be presenting one or two items. But most of all, I thought I was only going to do one item, but I just decided I want to do one item which I think is very, very important. And that is remembering the ones that we have lost in the last few weeks, the last few months, in the last year. We've seen so many people dying due to the pandemic, and also people from the arts, the performing arts, musicians and things like that. So many musicians that we've lost that sometimes it comes to such a point where you even ask yourself, I wonder if I'm next. Because every time you try to call someone who you know, and then you just suddenly remember, oh gosh, this person has passed on. So one industry, and there's very few of us left actually. When we look around, we've lost a lot of good musicians. We've lost a lot of great performers, dancers, you just name it. And my first item would be a dedication to those people who we have lost, people who we know who are currently suffering due to COVID and other illnesses and stuff like that. This is a dedication to them, and just remembering and celebrating their lives. Thank you. Going on to my next item. Welcome to the future. Let us take a journey into the mystical past, where you shall find your future. A future of love, peace, and understanding, where we will give our love to the unborn babies of tomorrow. I'm talking about the Nelson Mandelas of the world, the Dalai Lama, Mahatma Gandhi, Albertina Sisulu, Steve Biko, Maya Angelou, Malcolm X. You see, they stand for what you and I could be. Stretching before me like a galaxy of stars into entities of the unknown. For you will never know where you're going to unless you know where you're coming from. And this is your future. You are now a child of a destiny, and I would love to welcome you to your own 21st century. A 21st century filled with love, peace, understanding, tranquility, and beautiful mystical experiences. But I also believe one day when I die, I shall become a dream. I'd love to become your dream. A dream of the past, the present, and the future, filled with mystical experiences. Welcome to your own 21st century. Mystical experiences. Na 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 na. Ayo, na 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 na. Ayo, mystical, 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 mystical. I die, I shall become a dream. I'd love to become your dream. A dream of the past, the present, and the future. One day when I die, I'd love to become your dream. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ntate Pops Mohammed, for that beautiful serenading sounds, you know. Yeah, thank you so much. I saw how you just captivated some of the creatives, and I'm sure a lot of them wish they could produce to your music, you know, because it's a good inspiration to stimulate your creativity. Ntate Pops Mohammed is one of the legends of this country. I think he's one of the unsung heroes, and we really need to pay, you know, due homage to them whilst they can still hear us. So let's give him a warm round of applause, Ntate Pops Mohammed. A legend of our times. I mean, I remember your music from when I was still very young, and at the time I was performing at the Mabana Taung cultural calabash, and I remember your music from there. You know, I was still a teenager at the time, so really, really, really amazing to hear your sounds again as an adult. To get into our next segment, we will now invite Ndate Osmic Menwe. I see him there sharing notes with Ndate Tema, who gave a powerful presentation earlier on. Then we will also have Ubabus Fiso Tabashe from the DIG, and then representing Umhlabati, a collective of Joburg's finest photographers, would be Austato Mohotsi. Welcome to the stage. Aus Lebohang ran away, but we welcome you. Thank you very much for coming through. And then one of the artists, if I can just request that we all be here. I don't want to call people by name, those who are talking as I'm talking. So, again, we're going to also invite, you know, one of the artists. Yesterday I was having a conversation with our ED, and I was saying that sometimes we see certain artists and we wish we can collect their works, and before we know it, their works are unaffordable for us as South Africans in particular. And Oput Azaelanga is one of those artists, you know, one of the artists that if you can, please collect him now, because very soon he's going to be very much unaffordable. Welcome to the stage, my brother, Azaelanga. And then representing the arts konageng, Ndate Monageng Motsabi, Khosi ke Tlhompileng Thata. We welcome you, my brother, also to the panel. So, some of the internally curated programs that we have, We are also going to have our normal clap and tap festival. Please keep an eye out for that. We also are going to expand our clap and tap this year and include a new genre of Amazayoni. And it's going to be quite an exciting one. Ata Life also has a very strong education program, MMC. Yes, in the previous panel, you heard about the workshops that will be happening. And this year, we have identified two, subsectors in particular that we think require some attention. One of them is the clap and tap industry. And we will be doing a workshop for them to look at intellectual property rights, how artists can better manage their intellectual property, how they can monetize it, and also looking at opportunities either for funding and also for advancing their intellectual property. So we'll be doing that workshop in November. And we will also be doing another workshop for the craft sector, looking at how crafters can start to operate in the export market, looking at how you firstly register for export, how you play in that market, what kind of opportunities are available, and we'll also look at funding opportunities for the craft sector. So those are some of the two workshops we'll also be having in November. To kick us off, but now you are going to be kicking us off, Ntate Monageng Motsabi. If you can just talk about, your involvement in Ata Life this year, what you are bringing, and when your production is going to be taking place. Thank you very much.
No. All right. Thank you. Bang rekisitse ma comrade ba bentse ba sutela kwa. All right. Thank you for this moment, for this opportunity. My name is Monageng Vice Motsabi. I'm a theater maker, meaning I'm a playwright and a theater director, but a lot of my focus is also on the educational part of the arts. So I teach things like acting, playwriting, directing, and other things. I also represent the Arts Konageng, which is an emerging theater company and publishing house. We publish plays mainly and theater books. So I appreciate our presence at this year's Ata Life Festival. I'd like to thank the city for considering rebels and outliers like ourselves, who are consistently doing things out there and in other forms. We really, really appreciate being here. So this year, what we'll be presenting at the festival is a play and also a masterclass. The play that we'll be presenting, titled The Red on the Rainbow, is a play that originally began as part of a program in Berlin 2 years ago, and has not been performed in this country as yet. So I mean, this is also another reason why I appreciate this platform, because this work has been experienced in Berlin. A company there called La Belle Noire has adapted the play into a short film, and last week they had a full-on reading of the play with the Gorky Theater in Berlin as well. So we're excited to find a way to present this work here. I'd like to just maybe read a little something to speak to the play, because if I try to recreate this, I might just go on forever. Primarily inspired by recent real-life events in Colini, the play follows the aftermath of the death of a young man on a farm at the hands of a farmer's son and his friends. The play explores how time seems to remain frozen, picture style, in an unending apartheid ghost dance. How with each dreary step into the future, reality seems to loop, stoop, and re-loop, forever trapping the amper people of these towns in a cartoonish and feverish attempt to leap into the much lauded blissful change that our country's Simunye moment is said to have unleashed for all. Faced with the death of her only son, a mother must decide whether to surrender to these unchanging rhythms of the bass's guitar and the zombie dance it demands, or to Mshoza style, trample down the Toy Story in an eternal scream for justice. That's just a brief sort of setup of what the play is. So the play will be happening at the Soweto Theatre on the 18th to the 21st of November. And then the last 2 days of the festival, that's when we'll host the masterclass, which will be specifically an acting masterclass for 12 participants. Yes, the performance will be live, but we'll also have a streamed version thereof. I think this is it. Thank you.
Hello. Dumelang, my name is Tato Mokgotsi, and I am a visual arts curator. And currently I am working quite closely with a collective of multi-generational photographers. The collective's name is Umhlabathi. It is a group of 9 South African photographers of varying levels of stages and experience in their careers. Namely, they are Andile Komanisi, Andrew Shabangu, Jablani Dlamini, Lebogang Khanye, who is here with me today, Sabelo Mlangeni, Thandile Zwelibanzi, Tshepiso Mabula, and Tshepiso Mazibuko. So as the name of our collective refers, we came together based on our shared values and core objectives of creating a space within the local art ecosystem where we could find productive ways that contribute to a greater sense of collaboration within the creative industry. As we know, when it comes to visual artists, the assumption is that one spends most of their time alone in a studio. But when it comes to photography as a visual art medium itself, it very much is situated within a broad social context. In terms of the practices of the members of our collective, most of them are social photographers and documenters who have worked in all kinds of contexts, sort of telling the stories of, for the most part, Black communities in South Africa. So it is based on that, the principle of the collective work, that we are trying to create a site in the city, more specifically in Newtown, where we are based, at number 2 Helen Joseph Street, which is directly opposite the JDA offices. It is because of the context of Newtown Precinct and what it means to us individually as practitioners in the city that we have decided to basically sort of share our combined expertise and knowledge with a current and forthcoming generation of photographers. We are trying to emphasize the social impact that photography has historically and continues to have in South Africa through our individual and collective practice. So what we're bringing to the Arts Alive Festival is in fact a dual site exhibition of works by members of the collective, but also new works that would be developed in conversation with the heritage narrative of Newtown itself. So the first part of the exhibition will be taking place at our space at number 2 Helen Joseph Street in Newtown. And the second site where we will be installing our exhibition will be the Workers' Museum. As you all know, the Workers' Museum itself as a heritage institution really carries, could be thought of as operating as a custodian of the story of how Joburg itself came to be, and how the important role of laborers and the migration and movement of laborers in the city needs to be sort of further acknowledged and really for the most part, to educate ourselves about the value of labor in the city and what it brings in building the place that we call home, that many of us call home. So our exhibition will also be accompanied by an educational program, photography workshops and walkabouts and talks. So our exhibition will be launching on the 26th of November, and on the 27th of November, we will be conducting a walkabout, inviting anyone who sort of is within immediate access and proximity to Newtown, but also a wider audience of creative practitioners and students as well, to participate in a walkabout that will direct them from our sites, that will direct them between the two sites of the exhibition. And that will then culminate in a panel discussion at the Workers' Museum that will explore some of the stories and the collective members' individual practices, but also creating a conversation and dialogue with the immediate community of Newtown around the value of photography in telling our stories in the city. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Tatemeno.
A very good afternoon, everyone. Once again, my name is Osmic Manwe from a company called Ritual Media Group. We are responsible for projects such as the Hennessy International Back to the City Hip Hop Festival, the South African Hip Hop Awards, South African Hip Hop Summit, and the SA Hip Hop Museum. And I think for this year, I think it's the same statement as last year, when I said it's always amazing and it's always very much appreciated for the city constantly showing support to some of these initiatives that some of us have been doing for some time, and at some point were also seen as rogue sort of initiatives, such as a Back to the City that happens in Newtown, and such as a support for the South African Hip Hop Museum that is inside Museum Africa. And obviously this year marks the second year with our collaboration with the South African Hip Hop Awards. And so this year's South African Hip Hop Awards still taking place on SABC 1. And obviously due to COVID, the structure is still not an event, so it will be sort of a pre-shot, but we'll also be having our online workshop session in terms of educating the mass, because I think a lot of people want to submit, a lot of people want to be Caspers and AKAs, to say, well, look, these are the criterias. So yeah, once again, much appreciative, and we hope when the awards are playing. Last year we had a good number of about 3.8 million viewers, so we're hoping this year more people view, because the more viewers we have, the more the channel will still entertain us. The more viewers there are and the more of this work happens, once again, I think the city will keep obviously partnering with us. So yeah, much appreciated.
Thank you.
Sanbonan. My name is Fiso Kabashe. I'm probably the baby in this panel. We are the newest in terms of edition. It is our first year working with Arts Alive, and I think the city as well, so we really do appreciate the opportunity. I represent a collaborative platform and group of creatives and event curators. Our business is primarily based on creating an authentic collaborative platform for the alternative music scene. We are called The Dig. You may have seen some of our events and curations, such as Breakfast at Cujo's, We Are Live, as well as Hello Neighbor, and something called Sweat Night. But we've built a great online presence and platform which is aimed at creating sustainability. I think we sit here as curators and creators in different worlds, which is from a place of loss and discomfort throughout COVID and the pandemic. But also there's the other side, a place of opportunity and growth and learning, which we've had to explore and exploit quite strongly in the past 2 years. We've been around for 4 years. We are self-funded and self-governed because the approach and opportunity for us was that to learn first before we get into these platforms. We also believe in sort of working within the community, but also we've wanted to make specifically sure that creativity, music, and South African artists, especially music and the arts, does not only sit within the city or CBD. There are townships, there are peri-urban areas that are creating amazing work. How do we access them? How do we work with them? Because we have varying backgrounds in our team, in our business, we've been able to work from a brand perspective, but also we've been able to work from a community development perspective. Without going too deep into what we do, I also just want to acknowledge the fact that where I sit next to people that we've always admired and looked to work with now and then, and it's also for us a full circle moment. We will be curating 2 programs in October. The one thing that in this room that kind of trips us over almost every time is something called compliance. We work in the event and curation space, and we've had to work with JOG, and a lot of you know JOG, and it's become sort of a little hurdle. But we want to create an opportunity for upcoming event curators and established and upcoming to actually learn the processes, understand what JOG is. I think we've benefited more from the JOC rather than not. We've learned a lot on how to put together safe events, first of all. But I think being able to curate an event during COVID has been a great opportunity to work with the JOC. So we'll be running a program on the 1st of October or that week for upcoming event curators, how to create safe and compliant events in the city or wherever you are. For us, that is very important because I think the biggest opportunity for event curators on this panel and outside of here is how to be sustainable, how to be compliant, and not to see, I think, government structures as against, but as an opportunity to do safer and, I think, more compliant events. But also we play quite intuitively in the arts and film space. My partner who sits there, is quite a seasoned film and curator in the public film space. We will be showcasing a few films from some of South Africa's favorite or I think best upcoming film directors. The one film that we want to showcase is a film by Sifiso Kanyile that just recently came out, just to make sure I name the right name. It's a sort of an opportunity to look into, is the Rainbow Nation working for the current climate of South Africa? What are the pitfalls? How far have we come? And I think it's also an opportunity to celebrate the fact that we are constantly thriving as a country. Obstacles in the way, yes, there's been a lot of things we've had to learn and unlearn, but we continue to grow, to reinvent ourselves. And I think there's been a lot of, we've looked at what's currently happening only from a negative perspective, but I think we also want to present the opportunity to say that we've come this far and we can keep going. So we'll be showcasing that in Newtown as well as running the workshop here in Braamfontein. Why Braamfontein and Newtown to start is because this is somewhat the hub of the creative scene of Joburg, but we also want to use that because it's going to be a hybrid event to say those that cannot participate, you can stream, you can also participate online. So that for us is just a great opportunity to participate, but thank you again to Arts Alive and the greater Joburg stakeholders.
Thank you very much. I was looking at the reaction of those who titled themselves as rogue elements when you're talking about compliant events. But I will not say what their reaction was like, but very creative program, I must say. Yeah. Babu Azai tell us about your offering for Arts Alive this year.
Sanbonani. My name is Azai Langa. I'm from the Azai Langa Studios in Selby Extension in the city. So I'm a painter and sculptor, but I later focus on fumage, which is painting with smoke. So my work, it documents what happens around the city And it also pay homage to the, what I call the overlooked shadows, meaning those that have played a big role in being part of the economy, being part of growing what we have around us and not being recognized. So my work looks into that, and it really interrogates where we come from and how we got here and how the product of that situation have been looked at and acknowledged, but without acknowledging where we come from. So I've exhibited all over the world, almost all over the world, but the biggest mistake is I haven't started in our own continent. So I've went outside and exhibited, but this year, for the past 3 years, I've been looking into showcasing in Africa. So I got an opportunity to showcase in a museum in Namibia. With that collaboration, I had a discussion with the Joburg city, and I'm glad to be part of the this is my first time as well, to be part of the 2021 Arts Alive event. And I'll be showcasing my work in Namibia, and on the 10th of November. Then with that, we'll be having a discussion around my work and around the inspiration around where it comes from. And we'll also be launching a book and a catalog about the show. So that will be part of some kind of a cultural exchange between a South African artist and artists from Namibia. And we'll also be doing workshops, because I'm mostly focusing, my workshops are mostly focusing into using what I call eco-environmental objects or art. So we use objects that they always see to create art, and that they can use to put money on the table or food on the table. So I'm very honored to be part of the 2021 project, and we'll be streaming live, and we'll pre-record it, and the exhibition will be found on Art Alive platforms and also on our Instagram and website. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that. In fact, MMC, 4 out of the current 5 panelists that are here are all new initiatives that have been incorporated into the Arts Alive program, because we are constantly looking at innovative content, we're constantly looking at innovative collaborations, so that people do not think that we keep the same people, keep supporting the same people. But what is also exciting about Arts Alive, it's the diversity of the disciplines that we look at. We just don't focus on music, because Arts Alive has been very music heavy for a long time, and we have really diversified the content. There's a lot of visual arts this year, coming through. There's theater. There's also within music other genres of music that have been sort of underrepresented. Hip hop is coming very strongly represented, and it's really important. That's a very creative offering to look at how is it that many people that are organizing events understand the process of making them compliant and complying with the city's bylaws, particularly the JOG requirements, And this would be one of those offerings that will benefit, producers, would benefit event organizers, and so on. So really, really exciting. I love the Mhlabati articulation, very fresh, very exciting. Really hoping. This session, it seems to have been much deeper in terms of how deeper you've traveled with the content offering. On that note, we'll take 1 or 2 questions before we wrap up for the day. If there's any questions, we will take them now. And if there are no questions, there is still more information available on our website. And we would like to thank our panelists for your offering and for also collaborating with Arts Alive 2021. Please tweet, please put or post on your Instagram, all social media platforms. Let's make Arts Alive International Arts Festival trend so that we can attract more audiences to the different platforms and offerings that will be there. And some of the offerings will be, hybrid. For example, the theater production will have a limited physical audience. Anyone who's got the numbers of the people in the CDC or even the numbers of the president, I don't have them. If I did, I would call them and say, let's open up our theaters at least to 50% capacity, because we really need, the kind of support that the artists need for physical presence. There's nothing better than consuming art physically. I mean, I was captivated by Ntate Pops Mohammed, and these are the kinds of initiatives we're looking for. Umhlabati also a combination, the Hip Hop Museum. Please visit Museum Africa to come and see a very, very interactive exhibition. So those are the kinds of initiatives we are looking forward to hosting you at. Thank you very much. A round of applause to the panel. Thank you very much. We are now going to go into some live performances, and thereafter we will wrap up the program. But this is really the time to network. All the partners that were here on stage, I have, at least in my mind, seen a lot of crossovers, seen a lot of potential for synergies. Please talk to one another, see how you can collaborate and enhance your respective offerings. And now we are going to welcome the Women in Song, one of the very powerful performing groups that we are featuring at Arts Alive this year. Let's welcome Women in Song with a round of applause.
No
Thank you to the ladies in song and the gentlemen that are accompanying them. Also, the maestro on the keys there, Yonela Mnama. A round of applause to them once again. And now we're going to have some dance with one of the groups featured on the Global Dance Supreme. So they want us to clear not just the stage, but even the front of the stage for them to give us their performance. So we're going to have Amapantsula. Over to you. Thank you. A round of applause for Shake Us and Move Us Pantsula Dance Group. A glimpse of what to expect at the Global Dance Festival, the Global Dance Supreme. At this stage, MMC, we would like to firstly thank you for your continued support, your presence. You know, it is not often that you find a politician sitting right through a creative festival, and for that we are truly grateful. We also would like to thank the Joburg City Theatres under the leadership of Sisxoliswa Nduneni Ngema for hosting us, but for collaborating with us as well to offer you the Arts Alive International Arts Festival. Would like to thank all the media that were here today, those that are still here to share the day with us, to cover the stories, to ensure that we profile the Arts Alive 2021 in the media spaces, all of the media spaces that are available. We also would like to thank the Executive Mayor in absentia. He connected to some of the online programs virtually, but we hope that we will participate. In fact, he committed that there are some of the initiatives that he will come to during the course of Arts Alive. Thanks also to our new Executive Director, Mr. Vincent Campbell, for having graced us this morning with his presence. To all the partners, I'm not going to call all of you by name, but all of the partners that are collaborating with us to offer us the Arts Alive International Arts Festival, we thank you for how you packaged your content, for going to great lengths to ensure that we cover the width of the city of Johannesburg, all the regions, and covering all those artists that some never had the dream of making it onto mainstream stages. And lastly, we also would like to thank the artists, all the other audiences that were here, the technical crews that work on to giving us this production today. Sis Lindy from Joburg Theatres, I know that she is very passionate, making sure that everything runs according to schedule. I also want to recognize, the team, the Arts Alive team, particularly Sis Jackie. She likes disappearing, the project manager from our side, but also Vincent Motau from Joburg City Theatres, Sis Nchusheko Manganye, who's the Deputy Director for Arts in the city of Johannesburg. Thank you for your leadership in ensuring that you steer this ship. Everyone that I have not mentioned, everyone who is here, everyone who is going to make a contribution to make Arts Alive a great success, we would like to thank you. This is just the beginning, it's not the end, and we shall be seeing you in all the other activities. Tune in on the 19th of September. We will be streaming the Jazz at Arts Alive live on our platforms. There's an exciting lineup of artists. Some of them you've seen: Ndate Pops Mohammed, Mandisi Jankies, Ndate Temba Mokwena, Zoe Mudicha, there's Sydney Mavundla. There's a very long list of artists that will be performing and giving us the content that we signed up for in the language year 2000. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of today's program. Thank you.
All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? I feel a little bit of a quiet vibe in the area right now, so I think we need a bit of energy from you guys. How are you guys feeling? On the left-hand side, are you guys good? Are you good? All right, that's all right. It's about 50% right there. Guys on the right-hand side, how are you guys feeling? Okay, that was about 30%. That was a little bit disappointing. So now we're going to try and go together. How are you guys feeling? Are you guys good? Nope, I can't perform like that. I can't perform like that. I need more energy from you guys. How are you guys feeling? All right, I guess we're just going to have to do that, eh? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Jet DeGeneres. Thank you guys so much for having me here today at the Arts Alive International. This is crazy. The fact that I have this opportunity to stand on stage right now and showcase my talents with you guys, I'm very privileged to be here right now. So thank you guys for having me here today. For those of you guys who don't know, I was the beatbox winner for the 2020 Beatmakers Battle competition. And that, once again, has given me so much opportunity. It's so much fun. It's so cool for the community to get involved and take kids off the streets and really get in touch with the creative side and the arts inside, if you know what I mean. So ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, I'm a beatboxer. I make a whole bunch of noises and crazy sound effects using my mouth. So for example, all right? And everything that you're about to hear is 100% coming from the human mouth. All right, so check it out. With me on stage over here, I have a whole bunch of invisible instruments, all right? So over here, we've got the drum kit. So we got the bass kick, the snare, the hi-hat, the clicker, and the rim shot. All right, so if we play the drum kit together, it sounds like this. Is the sound all right there? I feel like it's clicking a little bit. All right, let's go. So let's add the hi-hat. Let's speed it up a little bit. Let's speed it up a little bit more. All right, so also on stage with us, we have a bass guitar, all right? And the bass guitar sounds like this. So now we're gonna put the drum kit and the bass guitar together at the same time. So check it out. Bass. Let's speed it up. Let's speed it up a little bit more. How you guys feeling? You guys still alive? You still awake? Yeah, it sounds like crickets in the back here, guys. How you guys feeling? Come on! There we go. There's the energy I'm looking for. All right, so check it out, ladies and gentlemen. This is an original beatbox called One With Sound. We are one with sound, yeah. We are one with sound, yeah. We are one with sound. One with sound. How you guys feeling? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for those of you who don't know, beatboxers are born with 2 voice boxes. Did you guys know that? Yeah, that's a complete lie. I'm sorry. But what beatboxers can do is we can sing and beatbox at the same time. So check it out. I like the way you work it, no diggity, about to bag it up. Ayo, 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 ayo. A back way work it, no diggity, about to bag it up. Ayo, 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 ayo. How you guys feeling? You good? All right. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a device that I have in front of me. This is called a loop station, all right? So for a beatboxer, this is a mad fun device. I can sit for about 4 hours messing around with this little device. So what it does is I basically input a sound into it, it loops it, and you can just carry on adding sounds, beats, whatever you want on top of the beats, all right? So are you guys ready to check what this is all about? Yeah? Yeah? All right, let's check it out. So just to give you guys like a little bit of an example, so this is what a loop station does. All right, so you guys basically get the gist of what a loop station is all about. So now we get to the fun part. All right, so check it out. You guys might know the song. If you know the song, sing along. Are you ready? Been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. If I've been blasting and laughing for so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. Been spending most of our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Been spending most of our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Yeah, gangster's paradise. Yeah. Paradise, yeah. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jed DeGeneres. Much love to you all. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for having me on stage. Please follow me on all my social media platforms. My music's on Spotify. I'm doing all the promotion I can do. Much love. Thank you.